instructions.
Captain, Mr. Dunn and Mr. Unger were sucked out in airlock in the computer room.
Both together?
Mr. Dunn and Mr. Unger were sucked out in airlock in the computer room.
Don't panic. Calm down, lady.
All right.
Hi, I'm Laurene Landon.
Along with him,
the California Down.
Dial.
And you may know me from my roles in All the Marbles, Like the Jury, Airplane 2, Hundra, Maniac Cop 1 and 2, and Island of the Alive.
It's showtime.
Could you do it, please?
Will you come with me? Do you see what's going on in here? I remember there was this one girl in his 4th grade class. I'll never forget her name as long as I live. Her name was... What was her name? What was her name? Isn't it crazy how people always look up for answers?
Hey everybody, and welcome to Buzz Talk Live. My guest tonight is an award-winning actress who began a career in the 80s. Laurene Landon is better known for her roles in the classic horror movie Maniac Cop, both 1 and 2. She received universal praise for her leading role as the beautiful secretary Velda in I, the Jury with Amon Asante. She was also in Airplane 2, the sequel, starred as a female warrior in the movie Hundra, and starred opposite Peter Falk in All the Marbles. In addition to acting, Laurene rescues pit bulls. She's an award-winning lyricist who authored rap music for an LA Metro Transit Authority video, and she's worked with other Hollywood elites, many classic and cult films spanning 40 years. Today, Laurene is one of the busiest actresses in Hollywood, so please chat and welcome Laurene Landon to Buzz Talk Live. How you doing, Laurene?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. And happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July, and I see that you're flying it proudly behind you. That's wonderful.
I have my Betsy Johnson flag up.
The Betsy Johnson.
My Betsy Ross flag up.
Betsy Ross flag.
Very
nice. So
it's
that is that a 1776 flag you got there?
It most certainly is.
Wow, look at you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, put it up all the time.
Fly it proud and fly it high. There you go. Wonderful.
That's it.
Wonderful,
That's
wonderful. You know, Laurene, thank you so much for taking my invitation to be on Buzz Talk Live. You know, you're such an accomplished woman. You've been in Hollywood and busy in Hollywood. You know, you've been in a lot of films and a lot of cult classic films too, you know. Like I said in my open, I mean, you know, some of the stuff that you've been involved with throughout your life and the people that you've met, and we're going to get into all of that tonight. But I just want to, you know, thank you again for joining me here and taking the time out on 4th of July. I'm sure that they're lighting off fireworks behind you and the neighborhood's going crazy. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. It's just starting. Can you hear the bombs going off?
I know I don't hear the big ones yet, but they're shooting them off, you know,
where you are.
My
oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're 3 hours. You're in Long Island, so it's 3 hours difference, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how's it there right now with the fireworks?
It's still a little light out, so they're gonna wait until it gets dark, and then they shoot off all the colorful stuff. But yeah, it gets crazy, but it's 4th of July. You know, you got to celebrate America's birthday, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy about it. I love the fireworks. I love watching the fireworks. But because I have dogs, I rescue pit bulls and cats. It's just it's really cruel what people in the neighborhood do. They shoot out the M80s or the canisters.
Yeah.
What are they called? The canisters. They're bigger than M80s.
Blockbusters. Well, that's what we used. Yeah, we used to call those blockbusters back in the day. And cherry bombs. We used to have all these names for the fireworks that we were crazy kids back then.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I love fireworks and I love celebrating our country. You know, I love 4th of July, but you know, it's gotten to a point when you have animals, when you have dogs. In my particular case, I have to give them melatonin, my vet said to give them Benadryl.
Yeah,
they're really shooting.
They get spooked, you know. They're scared of that stuff, and it's not good.
I put a vest on him. I put a vest on Moses, the big pit bull, because he's terrified. The younger dog, Izzy the termite, who ate the entire couch. That's why she's Izzy the termite. She's not so much bothered by them, but Mosey, the older one, you know, dogs don't know what the sounds are. Dogs don't understand what the flashes are, the lightning. It's terrifying.
It is.
You know,
it really is.
So after the show, I'm going to my best friend's house in Hancock Park, Virginia, Maliva, and it's much quieter there.
Now, where are you exactly right now? You're in LA or are you nearby?
I'm in LA. I live in Harvard Heights. It's a historical area of Los Angeles. You have all the amazing Victorian homes and the craftsman homes.
Yeah. So let me, while we're talking about it, Laurene, I have a picture of your house. Look at that.
Yeah.
And
that's creepy, huh?
No, but we'll talk about that too.
There's Izzy up at the top and King Kong on the left, eh?
King Kong on the left.
I was watering the front yard the other night, and well, she's a gargoyle. She's always looking out and barking and screaming her head off.
That's great.
Yeah, I love my house.
So it was
creepy looking.
I see the plaque there. It's deemed historic. What's the year that it was built?
1905.
1905. Wow.
Yeah, it can never be torn down either. And after I pass away, then they're going to put my name on it.
Oh wow.
But I told the city no, that to leave it, you know, the way it was initially, because that's who it was built for.
Yeah.
Of course. Lucy E. Wheeler, you know, it's a tribute to her, not to me. I'm just a caregiver, right? Just while I'm fortunate enough to live in this amazing house.
I can't help but noticing your accent there. So obviously you're Canadian. Well, born and raised in Canada. Toronto. Okay.
Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And when did you migrate to America?
When I was about 5, but I went back there all the time because my father lived up there, right? And all my relatives lived in Vancouver or in Toronto, so I would always go back up there 3 or 4 or 5 times a year to see my mom, my grandparents, my father, and all my relatives lived up there except my immediate family. They live down here.
So and we're going to get into how you got into it, acting and everything, but I just want to finish up on this home here because there's a story about this house that it's well, I'll let you say it. There's something happening in your home.
Oh yeah, the house is haunted, definitely haunted. And I never used to believe in hauntings and all that kind of stuff.
And you live in this house. You live in this
I'm sorry?
house. I'm saying you live in this house.
Yeah. Well, when I first came through, I thought the house was unbelievably beautiful. And it was built by the Green and Green brothers, who were commissioned to build the Pasadena house. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, it's a historical monument as well. And I just loved the house. And anyway, I came upstairs here, not this room, but one of the rooms in the back, And the relatives said, "Do you like the house?" And when I walked into one particular room down the hall, I said, the air is pushing down in this room. Can't you feel it? And they said, no. And I said, somebody died in this room. And they said, no. They looked at each other and said, no, nobody died in this room. But by law, we have to be honest with you and tell you that somebody did die in this house, but it's in the front room, the room I'm in now. It's a huge suite up here. It was in 1917, and they cut off, they cut off the walls to make it one gigantic room. Yeah.
Right.
So they said, no, somebody died in this room up the hall, meaning this room. And I said, no, somebody died in this room. Was there a bed here, right here? And they said, no, we don't know. And I said, the person who lived here died in this room. And about a year later, Jacques Martin Weil, who passed away in this house, Jacques came to meet me, wanted to meet me, the person who bought his brother's house. And then I asked him to come upstairs with me, and he came upstairs, and I said, Jacques, did your brother die in this room, the room up the hall? Right. And he said, yes, he did. Yes, he did. Nobody could know that. How did you possibly know that? Wow. I said, because every time I walk through this room, I feel the air pushing down, and I have a feeling there's somebody here. Oh man. And I said, was there a bed right here, right here? He said, yes. I said, I thought so. He said, how did you know that? I said, I didn't know it. I didn't know it at all. And I said, when he died, did his head land right here? And I put my hand on the ground, and he said, you're scaring me. He said, yes. The only people that could have known that were the police. And I had nothing to do with the police. I knew nothing about the house. I didn't even know anybody had died in the house.
Wow. What was that?
That's the beginning.
Okay. All right. I thought that was, a visitor or something.
A visitor. Martin. Oh, anyway, a couple of times I've seen when I've woken up in the middle of the night, I've seen my cat who's buried somewhere else, my cat No Flake. I called him No Flake because he would always tear the curtains down at my other house and rip the shred, and I would always say, Snowflake, no. Snowflake, no. So his name became No Flake. Anyway, I've seen him twice, 2 or 3 times since I've lived here, coming up the stairs. And also, I have a very, very creepy thing down to get to the basement, And it's like, it's medieval, where you open up the drawbridge.
One of those,
And it's got a bell on it. It's always got a heavy, heavy, heavy bell on it. Like all the rooms have bells on them in case somebody is, going to come through the house. Man. And so one morning, about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, I ran downstairs because I heard the bell shaking really loud. And I always lock the basement door. Because you can get access right down the stairs, halfway down the stairs, you can go outside, right? And I went downstairs, and the door was unlocked and wide open, and the bell was just still kind of ringing. Right. And I was terrified that somebody was in the house. So I ran out of the house, and I waited outside, and because it was 3 o'clock, 3 in the morning, I didn't want to call the police. I didn't want to bother them, I guess. But I came back in the house, and nothing, nothing was there. I've also seen orbs in the afternoon or in the evening. Really? Slowly go through the room. Yeah.
You mentioned about about feeling a pressure. Describe the pressure. Is it like somebody blowing in your face, like air pressure? Like what kind of pressure?
Air pressure pushing you down as you walk through. Like you know how you stand up tall? It was like the air was pushing down, and it was warm, very warm air. And it was winter. It was winter,
Wow.
and all the other rooms were ice cold. But this particular room is always very, very, very warm.
Well, let me ask the obvious question then. What's your heating system? Is it forced hot air? I mean, I'm trying to not damper,
Don't
the
have the
belief
heater
here.
on. I never have the heater on here. Never, ever have the
Oh,
heater
that's
on.
true.
Just-
You're in. What am I talking about? You're in L.A.
yeah,
Who
yeah,
puts heat on in L.A.?
yeah, that's true. Except in December.
Yeah. I mean, you got your months. That it's a little chilly
Yeah.
and all that. But that's fascinating. That you're living in the home. That's crazy. I mean, I guess at first when you found out that it was haunted, there was an adjustment period because you were always looking over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah.
Was it tough going to
Oh,
sleep
yeah.
at night? I mean,
I have a gun. I got a gun that I use for my martial arts days. Yeah.
oh,
Um,
okay.
Yeah, I trained for martial arts and I'm certified in hand-to-hand combat. And so they gave me a gun, all of us a gun. And
We might know the same people, but we'll talk about that.
anyway, the gun's it's a real gun. It's a Colt 45, but it's got a little thing in this, the little red thing where you can't really shoot it, but it looks real. It's scary.
Oh, it's a prop gun then.
It's a real gun though, but it's a real gun that was
it's a
made
real
into
gun?
a prop gun.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it was made into a prop. Oh, okay.
And I keep it by my bed every night since I moved in because I was really, really scared.
Yeah, sure.
Because the house is so big, it's almost 3,000 square feet.
Wow.
There were additions made to it in 1917. So, it's just a big old house, and people that come to visit me or my friends, they don't want to move out. You feel like you've lived here all your life. It's just an amazing home.
I love the Craftsman homes, the workmanship on them, everything, the detail. It's wonderful, wonderful stuff.
Yes.
I mean, and California is filled with them, filled with the Craftsman homes. But let's get back to acting because at first you weren't really geared towards acting. You were more towards becoming a police officer.
Yes, I was. I went to Buzzeo Academy. I was going to Cal State LA at the time. Can you hear the fireworks?
Yeah, I just heard that one. Yeah, I just heard that one.
I was going to Cal State LA, and then I went to Buzzeo Academy to become a sheriff's deputy. But I only lasted like 16 weeks because I passed all the courses, everything. And they would always call me Betty Boop, those sheriffs. They were trying to get me to quit, but I would not quit. It was a game almost. But by the 17th week, we had to go out and shoot the clay pigeons,
Yeah,
and I was a sharpshooter. I'm a sharpshooter.
I mean, you display that in the movies.
The cops. You go shoot with the cops all the time,
right?
And make happy faces. Right when I'm shooting, happy faces, right?
Happy face.
A funny story happened when I was doing Eye of the Jury with Armand Desante. We had to go out to a shooting range, so when we went out to the shooting range, I was able to get the bullet through the head every time. I was just able to. It was easy. I don't know why, but it was easy. And so we were at a shooting range, and then we came back. They brought us back to the hotel in a taxi, and we both had, our targets with us because the director wanted to see our targets.
Right.
And mine was straight through the brain, and Armand's was everywhere outside the body. So he grabbed mine, and he tore it up on the freeway, and he threw it out the window.
No way.
Oh yeah, he did. And then he threw his out the window too. He said, "We don't need to."
We don't need to advertise that. You're making me look bad.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I guess.
Yeah, but I'm a marksman. I'm really proud of that.
Wow, that's cool. And you're not your stature. You're a tall woman. How tall are you?
10, and I'm 6'1" in heels.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So sports, you played a lot of sports, I guess, growing up, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, basketball, baseball.
Yeah.
Every sport you can imagine.
Yeah, so you must have been a tomboy.
I love basketball the best. And I got to do a film. One of my first films was with Pistol Pete Maravich. I don't know if you know who he was.
Yes, the name it rings a bell.
Yeah, he was on, I forget, not the Jazz, something else.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
But anyway, I got to make a movie with Pistol Pete Maravich.
Wow, that's amazing.
We used to shoot free throws, at half court during the breaks because he knew I loved basketball, and so I had a wonderful time meeting him, and he was a joy to work with. And so sad he died when he was 40 years old. Oh, he had a heart condition, sadly, and he was doing what he loved to do, was shooting the free throws at some school, some basketball court.
Well, I tell you, your height and the stature that you're living with is you made it on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson back in the day because of the movie All the Marbles with Peter Falk. And I have a clip of you and Johnny on the set there with I think it's Dudley Moore, I think was the other
Dudley Moore, yeah.
Was the other actor that was sitting next to you. This is some funny stuff. So check this out.
Actress, I've just met briefly backstage. She's in a new film called All the Marbles with Peter Falk, which is going to be released in October, and another movie called I, the Jury will be released in November. This is her first time on The Tonight Show. Would you welcome Laurene Landon? We did not book it this way, just to make you feel insecure or anything else.
I feel quite at home, actually.
At home is where the heart is, I guess. What else? You are tall, aren't you? I didn't realize
Yes,
that.
I'm 5'8.5".
Yeah, you were sitting down when we said hello. And,
yes, I was.
Yes, and yes, you were. Of course you were. Then you walked out here, and that's in bare feet, obviously.
No, I'm in heels. I'm 6'1" in heels.
Oh, 6'1"?
Yeah, I'm 5'8.5", 5'9", actually. In between there, about 5'8 3/4".
Yeah.
Yeah.
What on that, Otho?
I don't know. I'm about 5'11" in heels myself.
that's with the formal pumps. I mean,
yeah,
of course you could do that. I was going to say, have you always been tall? Of course you haven't always been tall. When you were born, you were probably a little teeny girl, but...
Ever since I was in 4th grade, I was about 5'8", and I wore size 10 shoes also in 4th grade, so I'm about as long as I am. My feet are as long as I am tall.
Most guys would, like to be tall, but for a girl it can be a hazard, right? Because to find guys taller than you are now becomes a problem.
Well, actually, I was always taller than most of the guys I went out with, gentlemen I went out with in school.
Yeah.
And I was taller than my teachers even, and it presented quite a problem because people used to make fun of my height.
Yeah.
And
how's the weather up there?
The dude with the altitude, everything like that.
Really no good new tall jokes, and everybody says...
I wrestled in All the Marbles. I play a lady wrestler, and Peter Falk plays
You
my
play
manager.
a lady wrestler in the
Yes,
picture?
I play a lady wrestler. If you want Dudley to be a visual aid, I'll show you a body slam.
Sure. Just do something. You're going to do that.
I'll show you.
This is an overmatch right off here, I want to tell you.
I'm attacking you?
This is what we call a full Nelson in wrestling.
That's a full Nelson.
Oh, I love it. Oh, more.
That's right. Thank you, that's very sweet. I see. He's strong. Very strong.
That was good. Wow, that must have been crazy being on the Tonight Show and with Johnny and Dudley Moore. That
Yeah,
must
I dated him for a little while until I found out that he was dating Susan Anton.
Who's that?
I didn't know.
Dudley.
He was dating Susan Anton, and I didn't know. And when I found out, I told him, like, it's not right. You're dating Susan Anton, who was
right. Whoa! I heard that one.
I was on my balcony.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you'll probably see a fire behind me in a minute now. So anyway, I stopped seeing him, and he wanted to continue getting together and seeing each other, but I didn't think it was fair. I didn't think it was right. So, but he was funny as hell. Gosh, was he funny?
Yeah. No, he was definitely.
He had a club foot. Nobody knew that he had a club foot.
Say again?
He had a club foot.
He did?
From birth, yeah.
Oh, wow. I never knew that. Wow. Only you would know that.
I say I'm 5'8", 5'8 3/4, but I'm 5'10", and the reason I said that was because my agent told me, don't tell anybody you're 5'10". Most actors in Hollywood are 5'7", 5'8".
Right.
So just,
so
even on IMDb,
sure.
Don't say, just say you're 5'8" or 5'9" max. So, because a lot of times when I would go in early on auditions, people would say, casting directors or producers would say, you are so tall.
Yeah,
you're not 5'8".
Well,
and
when you first meet somebody, and you get their headshots or whatever, and maybe even a full shot of the person, and then you actually meet the person, in person. It was like, whoa, it's like, oh my God, you're a big girl. So, but now let me talk to you about All the Marbles. Now this was a wrestling movie, so and this was a big deal. I mean, you with Peter Falk, right? And
a big movie, MG movie, directed by Robert Aldrich. It was his last film. He did The Dirty Dozen, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, The Longest Yard.
Wow.
Some of the
great movies.
He's considered one of the top 10 greatest directors in the history of film.
Yeah.
So it was an honor and a privilege. And they saw over 2,000 girls for the role. And they initially saw wrestlers and tried to teach them how to act, but they couldn't do it. So they went the other route. They got actors and trained us how to wrestle. And so about 9 months into our wrestling, there were 2,000 of us narrowed down to 12. Kathleen Turner was one of them. Peter Falk's wife, Shira Denise, was one of them. But
yeah,
lucky Vicky
you
and myself. We were so athletic and so determined.
Right.
And
that made it easy for you to get the role because of your athleticism growing up and your willpower and your passion to do the film.
That's because my father didn't want us to date boys. So my daddy always made us go play sports after school.
Right.
And be on teams at night, baseball, basketball. So I didn't care.
Sure.
And so, I think it's because of my father that propelled me into the film industry. Plus, he loved old movies, and so did I. Yeah. We used to watch all these great old movies with James Cagney and Marlon Brando.
That's
and
cool.
Sir Laurence Olivier.
Yeah.
The greatest classics of all time.
And you learn from the best there, your mannerisms and all that other stuff. You pick up from the classics. But All the Marbles, the role that you play of a wrestler, were you taught by any famous wrestlers, or was it?
Yes, we had some professional wrestlers from Mexico that trained us, and also Mildred Burke, who was a world champion wrestler in her day.
Wow.
And Millie Burke, and she trained us. And she was about 5'1", 5'2", but she was so incredibly powerful and wouldn't let us get away with anything.
No.
And I tried to
she was
take
hard on you
shortcuts.
girls, yeah. Hey, when this movie was made, I mean, just before this movie, I think Rocky came out, right, with Sylvester Stallone, and the first Rocky film came out. So you know, the audience out there, they were yearning for some, you know, sport or ring type of movies, and this must have been a great success when it happened.
Well, it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Yeah, All the Marbles was ahead of its time. And the funny thing is that people don't know is after we had done rehearsing, right, in the first, I guess, month, Robert Aldrich took us into the studio at MGM, and he made Vicki Frederick and myself watch our footage, all the wrestling and everything. And he turned to us and he said, well, because you gals are so fantastic, he said, I'm doubling your salary as of today.
Nice.
He doubled our salary.
Wow.
We looked at each other like, what? We thought he was going to fire us. But we thought he was going to say, no, we don't like you. Go home, get lost. But, and then later on that day, one of my agents called me and said, oh, well, I just want to give you the notice that I've approved of you getting a raise. I got you double your salary today.
That's crazy. And back in that time, you know, that period of time.
I said, Robert Aldrich told Vicki and I in the screening room that he was doubling our salaries and that he was going to call our agent. And my agent had to get off the phone real quick. He had another call, of course, because he was lying.
Well, I have a clip of the movie, you and Peter Falk and your co-star in the movie. So let's check it out. Here we go.
Harry Sears is a self-made showman.
I've got two of the most sensational kids to ever hit this business.
With a traveling act that hits the road every day.
Why are we doing all the punching when we're paying all the bills?
And opens every night.
What a fantastic show you girls put on tonight.
He's got taste. He's got patience.
All right, that makes 30. There's your 5 cents. I have no pennies. I'll have to go inside.
I'll wait.
He's got clout.
You can't be nice to these things. They only understand one thing.
And he's got respect.
Wow!
He's going from the bottom of the barrel.
Stick with me and I'll have your name up in lights. Reno.
To the top of the heap. And he's taking his boys along with him.
The California Dog!
MGM presents Peter Falk.
That's right!
Vicki Frederick. And Laurene Landon in All the Marbles.
If I had a thought, an idea for you girls, that it could be sensational.
We are not getting tattooed, Harry.
Harry and the girls have been through the ropes. And back.
There's no bones broken, just maybe a bad sprain.
Stay off your back for a few days.
There goes your social life.
They've taken their lumps.
We never said you weren't a good manager, Harry. Just a lousy human being.
The hard knocks.
I'm not turning myself into a sideshow freak for you or anybody else.
No way.
And the mudslinging.
You're a lousy lover, you're a lousy manager.
Now that really hurts. I am not a lousy manager.
But they've always come back for more.
Now the girls are a class act, they deserve to get paid.
If I wanted a class act, I get the Bronte sisters.
My dolls would tear their legs off.
They've got grit. Guts. Class. And style.
You are the champions. And the California Dolls are greedy for your title. So remember, pride.
And tonight, they're going for all the marbles.
Win or lose, I love you both. But we come too far to lose.
Wow. I tell you, you know, looking back at that movie, great one-liners too. I mean, Peter Falk was very funny, and what an accomplished actor himself back in the day there, you know.
He was great, Peter Falk. You know, when we used to travel for the film, I was terrified. I would not sit in the plane, in front of the plane. I'd always sit in the back of the airplane because planes don't back into mountains. So he was terrified too, so he would always sit in the back with me while everybody else would sit up in first class. But Peter Falk and I always sat in the back. We were terrified to fly. So
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, Peter was fantastic in that, and your co-star Vicky was too. I mean, the beating you girls took, it's amazing. Amazing stuff. Yeah, so I mean, look, you've been in so many classics too. Airplane 2, and I got the clip there of Airplane 2, and but I want to talk about Hundra, because Hundra was really a starring role, lead character, and it was kind of like the Conan Barbarian, right, of the time.
Yes,
yeah.
And a lot of people think it was titillating and boobs and butts and all, but it was the beginning of women, the dawn of women's civilization, and it was a very positive, empowering role that I played, and I received last year a beautiful trophy that I have in my case downstairs. My other trophies for a Trailblazer Award, that I was a trailblazer in this field. So I'm very proud of that. And I had the most incredible time in Spain, Almeria and Segovia, the greatest food, paella, the nicest people. The Costa del Sol was the most beautiful coast I ever saw. And I'd been to France twice for the Cannes Film Festival, but the Costa del Sol was incontrovertibly the most beautiful coast I've ever seen in my life. If anybody gets a chance to go to Spain, go. I mean, I went because I was making a movie. I didn't have anybody to go with otherwise, but I had the most incredible time. Did all the stunts in the movie myself, except one, falling 90 feet from a tower. I did everything in the movie except that one
stunt. And the horseback riding too? You did the horseback riding?
I used to jump horses. Yeah, I used to go out to the Equestrian Center here in Burbank and jump horses 3, 4, and then 6 feet. And
so when they came to you with the script for the lead on this movie, then I guess you were like, I can do this. I mean, the stunts and the as far as the role itself, you had no problem taking this.
No, not at all. The more stunts, the better. Horses that I love, that and the dog Beast that was in the film with me. They had 2 dogs, 2 beasts, but working with horses and training every single morning at 6 o'clock in the morning, going out in Almeria, Spain, and I had all the stuntmen with me, and they were getting really mad because they said when we were sword fighting, practicing, I was really trying to kill them. So a bunch of stuntmen quit, and I call them mariquitas, which is faggot or gay guy.
Well, this is Lorraine, it was a movie, so you weren't supposed to kill them.
Well, I wanted it to be believable, so I did try to kill them.
Okay. Well, they were all bad. They were. All right, so let's take a look at you as female warrior in Hundra. Here we go.
He's not dominant. I will not bow to your bull or your man.
I think you did kill them. What's that?
Thank Thank you so much for showing all these clips.
Oh no, that's awesome. I mean, you're awesome in all these clips, and it's incredible what you've been a part of all your life. What are you kidding? And so, you know, with the action and the stunts and all this other stuff, you're funny, and your comedy came out in Airplane too, right? You play the
I'd rather do comedy than drama. I mean, drama is easy, but comedy is really hard.
Comedy is hard.
I like to improvise. I always improvise. Like in Sky, the whole scene on the bench was basically my improvisation, and I got a wonderful review from the Hollywood Reporter. I could not believe it. But
that's Sky, yeah. And Sky, it was, you know, look, you were opposite there, Diane Kruger, right? Accomplished.
Fabulous actress, yeah. But she was the producer, so my part was huge. And she kept saying to me, I don't like you stealing the scene from me. I don't improv stuff you do. You make me have to bring up my game.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. So she had my part cut down to that. But the Hollywood Reporter gave me a fabulous review. So I'm very grateful that I got to be in that film and shoot in Las Vegas, and get to go to the Toronto International Film Festival.
That's awesome. Hello? Oh, looks like you froze up there a little bit. Let's see if we can wait on her. Oh, there you are. Okay, you froze up there a little bit on me.
That's me in the Elvis costume.
Yeah, and you had the Elvis impersonators with you.
Yeah. Well, Charlene was, you know, she's kind of a lost soul on remote control, and so she's on the strip with these two Elvis impersonators and taking pictures with them, right? And that's how she makes her money. And she encounters Diane Kruger, who's running away from her husband, who she thinks she killed because he was trying to rape her one night. So she kills him. So sure you think. But so she goes to Vegas to hide out, and she meets me, and then we become lovers. But you don't see that at all. It's just intimated, you know.
Yeah, let's take a look at your work in Sky. Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, these fucking shoes. Hi. Hi, I'm Charlene. Romy. Hi, Romy. So where do you come from?
Paris, in France. Wow. That's exciting. The only French I know is demi-pamplemousse.
You have some ketchup on your nose.
I'm sorry, what?
Ketchup.
Oh. I put ketchup on my ketchup.
Those shoes look like they would hurt a lot.
Yeah, they do. I think you're only supposed to wear them in bed. If you know what I mean. Hello? I'm on my way. Well, it's showtime. It was really nice getting to know you so well.
It's okay.
Your hands are cold. Stay warm.
Too.
Thanks.
outfit!
That was good. I mean, you're so natural, Laurene. You know, the improv that you do, is it just a suggestion? You improvised everything?
Everything.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Pouring the ketchup in my purse, because I had French fries in my purse, pouring that all in.
Yeah.
Ripping up the magazine and putting it on my neck. I improvised everything.
Yeah, no, it works. It really does. And I can see how an accomplished actor like Diane is saying, "Hey, look, you know, what are you doing here? I'm the lead here, and you're stealing my thunder." You know.
Said that, yeah.
You know, that's crazy. So as far as like the time that you spent acting throughout the years, there was a hole in your life as far as acting goes, right? You picked it up later on. There was you were busy in the beginning, and then there was like an absence from you. What happened?
Well, my mother was really, really sick, and so I got out of the industry for a long time. Took care of my mom, and then my father got really, really sick with cancer up in Vancouver. And so I went up there for a couple of years to take care of my father.
Right, sure.
Then I brought him down Halloween of '98. But it was more important to me to take care of my mom and dad. You only have one mom and one dad. So I have no regrets whatsoever.
No.
At all.
No.
And I have no guilt, and I miss them terribly. But, you know, that's part of life.
Absolutely. It's part of life. So as far as like just getting back into the game, and then you've taken on all these roles, let's talk about Maniac Cop, because that was really, I wouldn't say put you on the map only because of the stuff you've done beforehand, but this was like an incredible opportunity for you to be a part of this.
Yeah, I got to go to New York. And it was very, very cold, freezing cold. And I got to do a lot of stunts and shooting guns and stuff. And I got to work with Robert Zadar and Tom Atkins and Bruce Campbell, of course.
Right,
who
sure.
was crazy, insane. So I had a wonderful time working on that film. And I just came back from the Houston Horror Film Festival a couple of days ago, and I could not believe how many people showed up.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It was an autograph show, right? And a festival showing movies. But I could not believe how many people came up to my table talking to me about the movie.
Yeah, I heard that one.
I think somebody just got killed. But where wasn't I? Where was I?
No, about the about how many people came up to your table at the.
Unbelievable. And I just got an email a couple of days. It was a fabulous. Thank you, Tony Rodriguez, and his partner Justin, who invited me to the festival. I am so indebted to them because there were so many actors they could have had to show up. And, you know, it was basically a horror festival. And as you can see, I've done the full spectrum. I've done drama, comedy, sci-fi, horror. I'm not done that much horror, maybe 4 or 5.
Oh, you did a fair amount, but I mean, the horror that you've done have resulted into classics. I mean, Maniac Cop, I remember watching that, you know, years ago, and that scared the daylights out of me.
When? Before your parents were born?
No, that film came out in what, the 80s or something like that? The mid 80s?
Came out last year, honey.
Maniac Cop?
No, it came out in the 80s. Late 80s.
I know. No, but I remember that movie, and you know, that scared me. You know, that and Exorcist and all those movies. But
shot in the raw streets of New York. I love New York. I love the people from New York because they're real. You know,
we are real.
People who say the words they feel and not the words of people that kneel, like here in LA, where everybody's got an agenda, mostly, and people just aren't real here. Yeah, but in New York, everybody is so damn real, maybe too real, but you know, they tell it like it is.
We tell it like it is.
Out here, you know what I mean?
No, there's none of that going on over here. I can tell you that right now. But we do have a clip of you in Maniac Cop, and I want to show that. Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
You have the right to remain silent.
He's still alive.
Forever. Again.
You can't kill the dead.
Why has this been kept from the public and the press?
When this leaks out, people are not going to want to pick up the phone and dial 911. We're looking at a bloodbath here. Let ourselves be serious, fellow.
I touched his hand, and I was back there again with the dead.
What's he want? I don't know.
What'd you see?
Sean, I saw Matt Cordell.
He had a reason for coming here. He's got a reason for everything he does.
Did you ever see anything so nasty?
Cordell's gonna pay you a visit and you'll see him.
It must be visiting hours, cause my friend is back! We're getting stronger because we got ourselves a leader.
All the cops in the world can't stop Cordell. You murdered him. You're pushing me too far.
Maniac Cop 2. You'll be screaming blue murder.
I tell you, that movie, when it was made, they really pushed all the practical effects, you know, all the special effects and everything. You know, back then CG wasn't around, you know, so a lot of the practical effects, and it looks so much real, you know. Nowadays, it's all, you know, when it's a CG and you know when it's practical.
I cannot stand CG.
Oh yeah, I know.
Marvel comic movies and all.
I know.
I don't like that. I just don't like it. It destroys the realism for me. So I like the older movies where everything looks so, like you said, so believable.
Yeah, but it certainly was. I mean, you know, going to the movies nowadays, you know, you just, it's, even if it's like, you know, there's no stunts in the movie, there's CG, sometimes to replace the actors. I mean, it's just crazy what they're doing with the stuff.
I think the movie theaters are going to go out of business very soon.
I tell you.
Because everybody's watching all the movies on cable. Yeah. And because of COVID, nobody went to the movies, obviously, for a year. But
yeah, but you know what, Lorraine? It doesn't replace going into the movie theater and sitting center in the movie and taking your seat and watching a major motion picture on that big screen. Nothing really replaces that. You can have an 80-inch TV in your house, but you know, it's not the same. You know, it's just not the same.
It's not.
You know, the sound. You know,
depends on the movie.
You know, you can't replace 25.1 surround sound. You just can't. No, I'm kidding. But no, I mean, look, and you've done some other things that have really, you know, now you're involved with, you know, some short films, right? And you're involved in some other.
Oh, yeah, a short film that Stephen King wrote. My director from Night Terrors, David Maccabee, bless his heart, wants me to play this incredible role in this movie where the woman, the mother, is dying of cancer, and her son constantly comes to see her in the hospital after she gets out of the house because she is too sick to be on her own, and it's an interesting debate and an anxiety-provoking dilemma that I think we all have at one time or the other in our lives. And that is, am I keeping you alive for you, or am I keeping you alive for me?
Right.
And that's the debate in this film. And I'm really excited.
Are you working on that film now, or was that completed?
No, it's coming. That's coming up around the pike pretty soon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, look, I have here that Nation's Fire. Now, Nation's Fire was a film that you did with Bruce Dern.
Yeah.
And incredible. And he's in his wheelhouse there with motorcycle gangs. He can't get away from motorcycle gangs. But this was a really interesting project that you were part of. And I believe is that the director there that's in that group shot of you and Bruce? And
Thomas J. Churchill. I love him.
Churchill, yeah, right.
Wonderful director. He's just going whoosh straight to the moon. He's doing movies left and right, nonstop.
Oh, good for him. Yeah.
Big, really.
No, the way this thing was shot, and the acting and the story, very patriotic type film too, you know. So I have a clip here of you in Nation's Fire, and I want to show the folks out there. This is like your latest work, right? This was like done in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Mama, growing up, she was dealing with all that alcohol
I don't know how to say it. I'm not going to say it again. I'm done here.
No, you're not done. You said that before. I stopped drinking for 3 days.
Don't do this in front of this little girl. God almighty, what's the matter with you? Oh, you're so calm. I can't believe it. I love you so much. When she screams like this, go find some place where you can't hear it. And if you really, really get unhappy, find me, call me.
We can talk this out.
I'm sorry about this.
Don't listen to him, Gloria. Don't listen to him. I don't care.
I chose you, bitch, and now I'm done with you.
You're gonna throw us all away?
Oh, shut
You
up.
don't throw a glass away when it's broken. You don't throw a marriage away. You don't throw a relationship away.
There you are. I was wondering where you went. Here. How are you holding up?
Still surreal.
Yeah, well, it's only been, what, 6 weeks? It'll ease in. When CW left, do you know it took me nearly 3 goddamn years to deal with it? Yeah. You're gonna see and hear things every day that remind you of Tommy. Hell, I still do every day with CW. But I realize that his soul left this world.
Mama?
What?
I don't know if I can make it without my baby boy.
That boy always made me smile.
Still does.
Whenever you are sad and blue, no one to tell your troubles to. Remember me, I'm the one who loves you.
You used to sing that to me when I was a baby.
Oh, yeah, yes, I did. That's the song. You remember it, huh? I'm so surprised that you remember it.
That's good. That's real good. You know, seeing, you know, you act like that, it's yeah, those scenes that you do, and I know that you're a big component of you know, reaching back and doing some improv, but was there much improv there? I mean...
Yeah, and the scene on the stairs with Bruce Dern, the director, Thomas Churchill, took Bruce and I aside and said, we're going to do this. Here's what I want you guys to do. There was no script, there was no nothing.
Really?
And
wow.
And he said, just get out there and do it. And after I did the scenes a couple of times with Bruce, he came up to me in front of the entire crew and in front of Churchill and the producers that were there. And he said, Laurene, I've worked with the best of the best. And there's only one actress in my life, ever in my life in this industry that I've worked with that is better than you. And that would be my daughter. So that was shocking. And he said it out loud. He said it to everybody. And so it's very humbling.
Yeah.
There's Bruce now on it.
Invite him in. Invite him in to Buzz Talk Live. What an incredible thing to say, and what a nice, really a pat on the back,
I was stunned.
Yeah.
He helped me and he wouldn't let go. He just wouldn't let go. And, like I said, we improvised everything you saw on the stairs. Thomas just gave us direction as to what he wanted. And
whoa, little gunshot there. All right, I got to see some improv here. Let's go. No, I'm kidding with it. But no, so getting back to the improv versus a script, is it easier that if you have scripted lines that you know the direction of what the character is doing, or is it better off having a director say, look, this is the scenario, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to accomplish, go at it, and then...
Well, there's two different thoughts on that. And the first one is when you improvise, you don't know what's going to happen. So everything is very natural, right? And unpredictable, as opposed to dialogue that you have to make appear to be natural.
Right.
And I like doing both things. When I say improv, I don't mean I change the dialogue at all. I mean, I do things it's called actions, and it's every change of circumstance alters your tempo rhythm. So
like that. Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Print. Oh my God. Laurene, you're killing me. Oh my God. This is great. Doing a show on the 4th of July. Who would have thunk it? No, but look, no, I get what you're saying about, the script and versus improv. And, the character has a certain way. I mean, if you're not going to be improving something, a Confederate picture or something like, but certain projects that you're associated with, there is a bit of improv that leads to making the character more real and
action, the actions that go along with the dialogue. When I say improv, I don't mean I change the dialogue at all, ever. Right. I just do actions, to support the dialogue. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah. There you go. There's your answer. Maybe it's the spirit there. Maybe it's the spirit that's talking. I don't know.
Wow.
There you go. Hey, so I know you've worked with so many people in the industry, and you've met so many people in the industry, and big names in the industry. And one of the biggest and one of the biggest fans of myself is Marlon Brando, and you and Brando. There's a story here, and I'll let you tell the story, but. That's Miko, right? One of the sons?
Right. Miko, Brando. Yeah, I met Christian when I was, I had just finished the movie called, what was it called? We filmed in Israel, America 3000. Don't go see it. It's a crime against cinema. Don't go see the movie. Anyway, I come back and I met Skippy Lowe, who was kind of like, I don't know, he did showcases, and he wanted me to come over and meet this guy, Bill Cable, and also Chris Brando. And because I always loved Marlon Brando, I thought, what the heck, why not? So I met him. He was very funny, incredibly handsome, sardonic wiseacre. And that night, I gave him my phone number because he asked for it. And I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. Anyway, so he calls me later that night. I don't know who it is. I didn't know who it was. But the guy said, this is so-and-so from ICM, and I want to wrestle you. And I said, what? And he said, yeah, this is Jack Gilardi from ICM. And I said, no, it's not Jack Gilardi. And he said, yeah, I mean, this is so-and-so. He made up another name. And so I said, whoever you are, you're a sick pervert. And he said, well, I'm calling you from ICM. I'm one of the agents there. And I said, no, you're not. But I didn't know. And so I hung up the phone. And then 5 minutes later, Christian called. And it was Christian making all that up about he wanted to wrestle me nude, mud bath. And I thought it was hilarious, but bizarre. So anyway, I was laughing my head off. And then we started seeing each other right after that for years and years. And Marlon Brando was my second father.
Wow.
I always called him Pop. And I always put up different
Marlon
voices.
Brando Pop?
Yeah, I always call him Pop. Pop. I always call him Pop. And he always called me Vanilla from the movie that I did with Betty Davis.
Wow. What an incredible story.
And a character I played in that movie was like a Vanna White character named Vanilla. So he always called me Vanilla, and I always called Marlon Pop. And I got along very, very, very well because of my relationship with Christian. I lived with him for 10 years.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a very, had its ups and downs, let's just say.
Yeah, sure.
So,
no, look, Hollywood elite, Marlon Brando and the family at the time, they had issues, as a family, but what an accomplished actor he was. I mean, my God, iconic actor.
He'd call me and he'd say, Vanilla, I want you to, no Christian's up to no good. I got his house, wired and all. But Vanilla, I want you to call me and say green if things are okay, and if things are not so good, say orange, and if things are really bad, Vanilla, I want you to say red alert, red alert. That's all you gotta say, Vanilla. Because I'm right here.
How old was he when you met him, or when you knew him?
In his 60s, 50s, late 50s, 60s, yeah.
Marlon Brando, yeah?
No, wait. It was way before. I think he was in his 50s, yeah.
His 50s? So this was probably around The Godfather, around that time, or no?
It was after The Godfather.
It was after The Godfather, okay.
It was 1985 that I met him.
Oh, okay.
That's when I met Christian. I used to go up there every Thanksgiving and Christmas time, but mostly Thanksgiving.
Right.
I forget one time he had a bunch of scratch-offs at Thanksgiving, and he gave us all these scratch-offs that he got for $1. And
hey, you all right? You okay?
The car upside down behind me. Anyway, so he gave us all these scratches, right? We're all scratching them off. And he always ate his dinner on his stomach, right? Because he was a big boy.
Yeah.
And he ate his Thanksgiving dinner on his stomach. And he passed all these scratches around. We all scratched him off. And he asked all of us individually, all his family was there. Did you get anything? How much did you make? And everyone said nothing. And I said nothing. And he said, I just want $1,000 right here. You believe me? And he said that. Do you believe me? And everybody said, no way. You didn't get $1,000 off a buck ticket. And he says to me, well, no. Do you think I got a $1,000 ticket here? And I said, knowing you, with your luck, probably you did. Yeah, I believe you. And so he says, okay, here it is. And he showed passed it around. He won $1,000 off a $1 ticket.
Oh my God.
All the kids were saying, give me that money, give me that ticket.
Right.
Oh, no. This is my ticket. I won the money, and I'm going to spend it on ice cream.
So I gotta ask. So was he always like an eccentric person? I mean.
Oh yeah, he always banged the drums. Always banged the drums. He used shortwave radios. He would talk to people all over the world. He called himself Dr. Brand. That was the name you had to use to get up to his house on 12900 Mulholland. When you got up to the gate, somebody would say, "Who are you?" And you'd have to say, "I'm here to see Dr. Brand, B-R-A-N-D, Dr. Brand." God. And then they would let you in. Wow. And if you didn't say that, they wouldn't let you in the gate at all. So
because I know, when he did Apocalypse Now, with Martin Sheen, I mean, he was eccentric in that movie. I mean, that was the role he was playing, obviously, but
he was real weird in real life too. He was very strange, wonderful, weird.
But what an actor!
He didn't care about Hollywood. He hated Hollywood, and he thought it was a bunch of bullshit and a bunch of liars. And he loved animals. He had 2 animals, Slubba, that was my dog with Christian, and it was a Rottweiler, and then he had Timmy and another dog, huge dogs, and he just loved animals. And he told me that one time somebody broke into his house. It had happened a couple of times, but one time this guy broke into his house and he was carrying a gigantic zucchini, and Marlon said, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Get out. And he says, here, I want to give you my zucchini. And Marlon ran and grabbed a gun and pumped a shotgun and said, here's your zucchini, baby. He didn't shoot the guy, and the guy ran off, but he called the cops. But he had some amazing stories, Marlon.
Oh, I could just imagine. Imagine. It's Marlon Brando.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Incredible stuff, man.
He was his father. I always called him Pop. He always called me Vanilla.
Yeah.
A long time.
Yeah.
It was just...
I got him up on my wall right here, right behind me. Streetcar Named Desire. Yeah. I mean,
one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, certainly is.
And The Men. Did you see The Men? One of the first films he ever did.
What was that?
Played a quadriplegic, I believe, or paraplegic. Yeah.
Oh wow. Hey, there's another person that was an integral part of your life, and unfortunately we lost him a couple of years ago, Larry Cohen, and what an amazing man he was too, and I'm certain that he made a mark on your life with getting you involved with certain things and being a special person to you and you to him, I'm sure.
He was positively, incontrovertibly, the greatest human being I have ever met in my life.
Wow, that's saying something.
We were best friends for almost 40 years, and we wrote scripts together, Dog Pen, about dogs in prison, comedy, and we wrote some other screenplays together. But we were best friends. We loved the cinema. We loved watching certain shows together. We went to all these, nice events that were going on in Hollywood at the time. Right. And he was so humble, and he was such a brilliant writer. He didn't only write slasher films like Maniac Cop. He wrote a bestseller. He wrote Phone Booth. He wrote Cellular. I wrote the treatment for Cellular on a napkin at Musso and Frank's when we were there one afternoon. And he took that from the treatment that I wrote and made a screenplay out of it, Cellular. Wow. And I got paid $75,000 for it. Larry got $750,000, of course, because it was Larry. Yeah. And we just had this, we were
a good
like
chemistry
one soul,
between
one
you.
Soul and two bodies. We were like one soul and 2 bodies. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I do have a little a tribute clip of his work, and I want to show this. Here we go.
What the f***? Anybody here like me? If you had never seen a Larry Cohen film, you're going to be in for some really
radically unique entertainment.
Larry started as a writer, eventually became a director to protect Larry the writer.
Yeah, shut up. We don't need all this bullshit.
Wow, what was that? Larry Cohn is so much the invisible man. It's entirely possible to have seen a lot of his work without knowing you were seeing his work.
His movies have this energy and this tact.
Larry Cohen is like the white Martin Luther King for movies.
I don't know what blaxploitation means. Every movie is exploitation. So what?
He's a madman, but he makes these great little films.
There's a brilliance, there's a childish naughtiness about him.
He would do things that were dangerous. Larry would not only shoot in the streets of New York, he would drive cars up on the sidewalk of the streets of New York.
This is New York City. They just get out of the way when you're coming. I would go down to an area with 5,000 policemen and shoot a movie without permission.
But Larry gave himself permission.
Shell cartridges were raining down into the streets of New York. People think that there's a terrorist attack. And he goes, get a cameraman and shoot somebody panicking.
And then the next day, there were articles about it. I went, oh, Larry, you know.
What you're really seeing is somebody who looks deeply at the present moment.
Larry's movies not necessarily subtle. They're thoughtful. They're reflections of the world around him and the problems in that world.
All the movies I do take something which is considered benevolent and turning it into some kind of monstrosity.
What?
Every time I make a movie, they always tell me, that's not the way it's done, but I do it, and it works.
He is the true independent filmmaker. He is jump out of the chopper, run and gun.
Larry is the best guerrilla filmmaker in the business.
A wild, maverick sense in the tradition of the handmade picture.
He trusts his actors and they trust him.
The greatest daredevil Hollywood has ever seen.
The reality of life is you don't know all the answers. You don't know why these things occur. Let's face it, anybody will put up with anything if they think a movie is being shot.
Wow. I tell you, and you made the credit list over there, by the way, if you've seen it. What an incredible human being and an out-of-the-box thinker, too. I mean, a lot of his films, as you witnessed there in these clips, you know, he was pushing the envelope even back then, you know, in the 70s, 80s, or whatever. And he just knew. He knew the recipe of what the viewer wants to see in a picture, and you know,
people wanted to see raw. They wanted to see real life, and Larry was a guerrilla filmmaker.
Yeah,
he was. I think he was the original guerrilla filmmaker, and he would just you know get his little crew together, get his actors together, and you know he was a remarkable human being, and so damn funny. Nobody except me and his wife, Cynthia, really knew the depth of sensitivity and humor and brilliant humor that this man had in his soul. Every time I saw him, I have recordings of him that I saved on my cell phone, and I'll never take them off of my cell phone.
No. Yeah, when somebody means that much to you, you want to try to, you know, always talk about them like we're doing here tonight, and shedding some light on their work. I mean, and what an incredible person, and for you to be lucky enough to know him was right there. You were blessed even to do that and to know him for that many years. That
he was very kind to my father as well.
Yeah,
my father always adored him. It's Alive and the trilogy, and my father always wanted to meet him, and Larry took him out to dinner many times, and
that was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a loss! But hey, look, he's in a better place, right? we always want to say he's in a better place, and yeah, I'm sure he is. But he left his mark on the industry, certainly, and certainly with you in your thoughts. So yeah, so you know, best to Larry.
Playing that. Thank you for playing that.
Oh
it's
no.
really really hard
I wanted to do him justice because he meant so much to you in your life, and I figured a nice little tribute for his work that he gave to the industry and to the movie business was just. So there you go. Hey, so talk to me about these pit bulls, because you do rescue pit bulls. And
yes, I've rescued pit bulls for 20 years.
20 years, and here's some of your beauties up here. And
Izzy the termite. That's Moses.
Moses.
I got, they're just rescues from different places, different foundations. And that's. Did you hear that?
Yeah. How are the dogs doing? Are the dogs around you? Can we visit one of them?
They're downstairs. The dogs are downstairs. I'm upstairs in the house. And the balcony is behind me, which is where they're shooting off. They're shooting fireworks onto the balcony right now. So that's why I'm going to my friend Virginia's house, because I know my dogs are terrified.
I know.
But I love my pit bulls. I love, they're the most underestimated, under-respected dogs. And the reason that they get such a bad name is because they have been treated by human beings, and because they are the most loyal of all the dogs I have ever had in my life, and I've had a lot, but pit bulls are the most loyal.
Oh yeah, and they certainly are.
All dogs are loyal, but there's nothing like pit bulls to me.
They almost look, when you look at a pit bull, and obviously you can probably contest to this, but they almost know what you're thinking. You look at their eyes, and you look, and they look at you.
They have human eyes.
That's the way I feel when I look at a pit bull. He's like, oh, he's staring me down. No, he knows exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah.
But they're very loyal dogs, like you said, and but you don't want to cross them.
No, you don't want to cross them. No, you don't. Especially when you're walking them.
Especially for the owner that has a pit bull, but no, I mean, look, they're very protective, right? They're very protective of you.
Protective and loyal, yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, that's great, and you keep doing what you're doing. There is, I know that you wanted to mention something about some illness that's you're experiencing, but and making awareness to taking hypertension medicine.
Right. I don't want to. I'm not saying this to elicit sympathy in any way, shape, or form. Right. I just want everybody out there, if anybody's listening, to please do not neglect to take your blood pressure medication, whether it's Norvasc, Avalide, Avapro, whatever it is. I'm on a lot of medications because I didn't take my blood pressure medication for 3 years because, it's a silent killer. You don't feel anything at all. You think, oh, I'm fine. Well, by the time you get to your nephrologist, you're not fine. So I'm stage 4 renal disease, and I'm on a kidney transplant team. I meet with the kidney pseudocyanide kidney team once a month now. And my sister, God bless her, Charmaine Anderson, up in Tigard, Oregon, who I'm going to go see at Christmas. God bless her. I love her so much. She's offered me her kidney.
And that's wonderful.
For a year. And then she got tested. And of course, I got tested. Our blood types are a match. And so my sister's going to give me her kidney. God bless her. I'm going up for 2 reasons, to see her at Christmas on the 19th. But there's a thing called Weird War that I was up 2 years ago. You had a picture of it earlier with Matt Simber and myself. Well, I think it was with Hundra. But we were up. No, that was something else. I'm sorry. No, they were playing Hundra up at this very old, antiquated movie theater. And they're playing Maniac Cop 1 and 2. Right. And they're flying me up first class, everything, lodging, everything. And I'm very, very excited to do that again. Because I get to go meet and greet fans, from Maniac Cop and Maniac Cop 2. And also, most important, I get to see my sister for Christmas. And they're paying for it all. So
why not, right?
Excited. I usually go see her every year, but Christmas, you know, because of COVID, nobody was doing anything. So I'm really happy and blessed that I get to see my sister again.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, best.
I am an artist. Please tell everyone to check out realartstudios.com.
Realartstudios.com.
Paintings. Charmaine is a genius when it comes to painting. She painted the Mona Lisa. I don't think you can see it here, but maybe you can.
No, let me see.
You can't see it. She painted this when she was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
She painted this in the garage.
Wow, look at that.
This is the Mona Lisa.
Yeah. I had one of those too.
Yeah, you do?
Well, I had one, yeah. A small one, not as big as that, yeah.
She painted Blue Boy too.
Wow.
She's just, and Pinky and Blue Boy, and she does animals up in Portland and Tigard, and she always gets all these awards. And you know, the real talent in my family is my sister Charmaine Anderson. So people got to look at her on Instagram at Real Art Studios.
Realartstudios.com.
So proud of her. Charmaine should be sitting here right now and not me. No, I'm serious. My sister Charmaine is the true talent in the family, as she always has been. I love her so much.
What do you got coming up, Laurene? What are you working on? Anything?
Woman in the Room. It's based on a short by Stephen King. I have Gamer Down with Milan Ackerman and Justin Long. And what else? Well, I guess scripts sent to me a lot, but
you're busy. Wow.
No, I'm not so busy. Things are starting to pick up.
Well, things are picking up, but
I just finished Vacation about the pandemic, and Angela Joseph is one of the producers. I love her with all my heart. She's so kind. And it's all about how people have dealt with the pandemic, right? And we've all dealt with it in different ways. And the other film I did was Amityville Cop, where I play a cult leader, believe it or not. Very, very diabolical cult leader. And I had so much fun doing that. And that was Gregory Hatnaka, who I've worked with before. And so, you know, this is recently, before I went to Houston for the Houston Horror Festival by that Tony Rodriguez sponsored.
Yeah, that was a great experience, you know. People
had a wonderful time.
Yeah. No, look, people, there's a small community of cult followers, you know, that follow these movies that were made, you know, at a certain time in history, and they've made a mark on a lot of people's lives, and they follow, and that once they know that the actors are still around and they're still vile, and they'll track you down and follow you, and it's crazy.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Whoa. So.
Oh my. The table shook.
I know. It's crazy. But listen, Laurene, it was such a pleasure to have you on Buzz Talk Live tonight.
Thank you.
You know, my God, I could talk to you forever. You know, you're such an accomplished woman, and you've done so many things. You've met so many people. My God, Marlon Brando calling him Pop. I mean, really? But yeah, it's an amazing life to this point, and I know that there's so much more fight in you, and you're busy with work, and now with the pandemic over, and you get back to doing what we love to do out there, right? And so hey, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm getting out of my house.
This is perfect. Gunshots, bombs.
Can you hear it? I'm taking Mosey and Izzy the termite.
Hey, all right. So, no, seriously, thanks again for joining me tonight, Laurene. It was a pleasure having you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on board. I really, really am grateful, and I appreciate everything that you've done, putting the clips together and having me on the show. That means more to me than you'll ever.
Absolutely.
Thank
hey,
you so much.
Stay right there, okay? Okay.
Okay.
Wow, that was great. Laurene was fantastic as always. She brings so much fight to the table, and what an accomplishment in her life. Incredible, and I wish her all luck in the world with all the projects that she's associated with and the upcoming films that she's working on. Go check out realartstudios.com. I think it's Charlene's work is up there.
Charlene Anderson.
Charlene Anderson and
Charmaine.
Oh, Charmaine. I'm sorry, Charmaine Anderson.
Yeah.
Go check it out. realartstudios.com. And
yes.
Can you purchase up there too, Laurene?
I think she's selling her paintings. Yeah.
There you go.
Just check out. You won't believe the animals that. You just won't believe the wild animals she's taken pictures of. And then from the pictures, she just paints it like it's nothing.
Wow, what a talent.
Incredibly talented.
What a talent.
So yeah, check out her, please check out her website. I was on my balcony again.
All right, hold on 1 second. So, hey, join me again next Sunday night with 3-time Emmy Award winner and currently co-host of the nationally syndicated show Small Town Big Deal. Jan Carl is going to be here on the Buzz Talk Live show, the former host of Entertainment Tonight. So she's going to be with us next Sunday night right here, Buzz Talk Live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So tune in to that one. And that's all for tonight, folks. Thanks again for tuning in. And good night, America.